Thank you, Solomon. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Hi. Hey. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I see you. Thank you. Good evening. How we all doing? I hope you're doing amazing. It's April already, like 3 months in the year have gone, but we thank God for life. We thank God for keeping us till this period. Thank you again for joining. Please tell someone to join. Having a very beautiful conversation tonight while I wait for my guest. Thank you, Chi baby. Thank you, thank you. 3 months have gone already. While we're waiting for my guest, let's just catch up. How have you been? How's the first 3 months of the year been? You know, January to March. Before we know it, first quarter already. And I usually say something like, you know, there's so many promises that we've made to ourselves. Yo, my guest is there. We get back to there's so many promises that we make to ourselves, you know, from the beginning of the year. And the interesting thing is, we should just try as much as possible to keep to it. 3 months have gone already, and the earlier we get to them, the better. So please, it's never too late. If you think that you have not, you know, achieved a lot of things, it's not too late. It's just 3 months. Yeah. Thank you, Courageous Kims. Thank you, Benkizi. It's been good. First quarter of the year has been wonderful. Wow, I'm so excited to hear that. And I know that the next one, it will be more powerful by God's grace. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. Yeah. So tonight, we'll be discussing something very interesting. My name is Bosede Kupolwe, also known as Diva Bikopi. I am the host of Mindful Moments with Diva Bikopi, and tonight we're discussing something very important. We're discussing the waiting room, finding a purpose in the pause. We all know that there comes a time in our lives that you and I, we need to wait for something, like something is, you know, prompting us like, oh, this is not time, some things are not happening, and then we needed to just wait. How do we navigate this time? My guest is here, and I'll be waiting for an invite. Please request to join, and we'll just get right to it. How do we navigate this time? How do we make good use of the waiting time? How do we ensure that we stay sane even while we're waiting. These are the things and many more that we'll be discussing tonight. Please tell someone to join, and it promises to be a very enlightening section. Thank you. And I know she will be here. Hey, good evening. Good evening. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful. I'm so excited to see you here tonight. Thank you so much. Guys, Miss
Thank you for
my
inviting me.
yeah, this is my guest. I'll just say the name and I will just leave you to introduce yourself formally to my audience. So you all
Okay.
listening to my guest. Her name is Foyeke. So Foyeke, it's nice having you here tonight. And I just wanted to introduce yourself to my guest while we get into the conversation of tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Foyeke Okedele, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I'm not going to, bore you with all that I do, but I'm creative. I enjoy helping businesses. I am into empowering businesses to communicate their brand values with the help of visuals. I'm passionate about fashion, beauty. I also have a business in that line. And of course, gift items. So basically, I'm an all-round entrepreneur. So let's just leave it at that. And I'm excited to be here. I'll be talking about the waiting room. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great having you around.
Thank
Folite is
you.
someone I've known for more than 2 decades, and it's really so beautiful doing this with you. I will just get right into the conversation. The waiting room, finding the purpose in the pause, finding purpose in that pause while we're waiting for something. So, Foyeke, I just want you um, to you, what does that waiting room mean? To your own understanding, like what does waiting room? Some people say, "Ah, I'm waiting, but sometimes we all have different understanding about what waiting really means. So to your own
Okay.
understanding, I
So
just want you to let us know.
this session is going to be practical, and the things that I will be saying in this session is going to be things based on my perception and based on my experiences. Okay. So in case I said something that maybe you do not really agree with, just know that I am speaking from my perception and I am speaking based on the experiences I've had that have shaped me. So for me, I would say waiting room is that period that you are eligible for a particular thing in all ramification. You are eligible for a particular thing, but it is not happening. You are eligible, but it is not happening. Okay, so that is when your waiting period starts. You have ticked all the boxes, but yet you are unable to achieve one thing or the other. Then we say you are waiting.
You're waiting. So it must really be something that you are eligible for.
Yes, yes, you need to be eligible for it. Yes, you have to be eligible. Like, okay, at this point, you have ticked all the boxes, but yet nothing is happening. You have graduated from school, you have your certificate, but you still cannot get a job. You are waiting.
Mm,
So you do not say you are
mm,
waiting when you don't have a certificate, you have not even finished school, or you have not gone to school at all. You are not waiting for that dream job. So
mm, mm. So you must, from your own part, all the boxes should have been ticked before you can say,
yes.
"Oh, I'm actually waiting." Thank you so much. So okay, so that leads us to the second question, which I know that will be more practical. I From your own story, I just want you to, let us know that thing that you really waited for, and just a bit about it, because I know that we will still have some conversations around it. Your own waiting period, how was it for you generally?
Okay, so for me, there was a time that I had to wait. I had to wait. It was in the, like we all know, waiting period could be in any area of life.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but for me, the waiting period that I had was concerning marital settlements. So it was frustrating. It was hard. It was. I don't know what to use again. It was tough. Waiting is usually tough. Is a tough time. And um, something that I think we should be discussing more. We should be discussing topics like this because schools will not teach you this thing. I am not sure there is a course in any university that teaches this kind of topics. I'm not sure. Maybe they have introduced, but for me, I never, learned about it until when I was in that situation. And I'm not even sure some parents even teach their children about this thing as well. But life will teach you because at a time, seeing my bit to go. So for me, I waited. It was a discovery phase for me actually. It was a discovery phase because in all of that, I think, don't let me say God helped me, okay? God helped me in all of that. Because if it is by your own power, but humans by nature, we get tired easily, we get fed up easily. Okay, so for me, God held me together. I was able to hold on to God, and I was able to not allow hopelessness to creep in all of it. So I waited. It was tough. It was hard, but it was over.
Thank you so much. And I love the fact that you mentioned that until we actually find ourselves in it, that's where it actually starts. And
Reality will strike.
yes, and the funniest thing is nobody prepares you, and even parents. You can imagine when you're growing up and everything has been happening for you. You went to school, from primary school to secondary school, nothing, everything is just going on. I know that some of us, probably the waiting season started from maybe like admission, and you start wondering like, why should I have to wait for this particular thing? Do you understand? And you find yourself into, you don't even know how to navigate. Just like you mentioned, it's not something that is being taught. It's a discussion that we all need to keep having and to keep telling
Yes.
ourselves that no, sometimes in life, everything is not just a clear road. Some children has to
I
come
think,
out.
and
Yeah.
I think, sorry to cut you, and I
No, it's
think
fine.
as parents too,
Mm,
we need to teach the children how to wait.
mm.
It could be from little things. I want this, even though you have it as at your disposal as a
Yeah.
parent, you
Yeah.
might need to, teach them that, it's not all the time you get things at the tip of
Mm,
you have to sometimes wait because if you do
yeah.
not teach these kids, if you do not teach your children how to wait, life has a way of teaching
Of
them
teaching
how to
them.
wait. And by that time, if your parent is teaching you how to wait, it's a
Yeah.
controlled one. Okay? But when
Yeah.
life is teaching you how to wait, it is not
It's
controlled.
a
You can only hope.
different ball
You can
game.
only hope. You cannot press remote. You can only hope and pray.
Mm. So why do you think people actually struggle with waiting periods in life?
Um, I think human by nature, we do not like to wait. We do not like anything that is not yummy, anything that is not
Okay.
sweet by nature, by default. We want, even if you go to a restaurant and your
Yeah.
food is
Taking time.
getting late to be served, you'll be like, what is happening? What is happening? You can even give them a bad review.
Mm.
Humans, we don't like to wait. So, and then we feel like, why is it happening to me? But other people don't wait. See this person did not wait. So we find it difficult. We struggle with waiting period, and we feel like waiting is a delay. It's something that we feel like waiting this is a delay. This is a delay. That's how we feel. We do not look at it as a way of waiting is preparation for the next level. A
Mm.
mindset thing. It's a mindset thing that we have a mindset that waiting.
Mm. I didn't hear. say the last one. Yeah, I think we lost you there.
I said
Okay.
some people even believe waiting is a punishment.
Yeah, right.
So the mindset thing, if you have your mindset that some people say, maybe it's something I've even done. Yeah, I mean 2000 and something, 1990 that discussing, some people believe waiting is a punishment, some people believe waiting is a delay. Some people believe waiting is a denial. This thing is not going to happen. It's not going to happen, rather. This thing is not going to happen. They just assume, not knowing that it's a phase which is going to pass. So humans struggle with waiting because by default we do not like to wait. And then mindset thing, humans do not see we do not see waiting as a preparation for the next level. We see waiting as maybe a punishment or a delay or a denial. So, and then we compare our lives with other people.
Yeah, I was coming to that. Yes.
So these are the reasons why people struggle with waiting. And then to top it all, we are not prepared for waiting period. We are not prepared.
Yeah.
We are not prepared until you find yourself. You now be like, you see, you hear people say, if anybody had told me I would not get married at the age of 20, I would say at the age of 25, I'll say to laugh. You won't see it coming until it happens. You now be like,
yeah, it's true. But just like you mentioned now, somehow it's some people will see it as a negative feeling when you're just telling someone, oh, maybe I see someone now, maybe the person is like 22 years, and I'm telling the person that you have to prepare for waiting because you might not get married at the age of 25, you might not even get married at the age of 26. How do you think the person will perceive whatever it is that I'm saying? Even though from my own end, I'm trying, probably as a parent or as an elder sister, I'm trying to tell the person that, oh, you have to prepare. You have to prepare for this waiting period. Sometimes people feel like, if I'm telling you to prepare for waiting period, I am not being positive. I don't know if you get my point. So the point is, we know that waiting can really be very frustrating. And there's so many feelings that comes with waiting. There is anxiety, there's a fear of losing out, there is this prayer that comes entirely, even the people in your circle. In fact, I even feel like the people in your circle sometimes put more pressure on you than even the outsiders. Do you understand? Like, oh, I've known this person, I've known her for a lot of years. Why is she not, why is she not getting married? Oh, she has gotten married for 5 years. Why is she not having a baby? Things like that. So how do someone, how do you handle this thing? How do you handle all these feelings that comes with waiting?
So, first of all, you said, I want to go back to the first thing you said, because it's like two
negative. Yes, yeah.
Someone to prepare for waiting, they see you as, are you wishing me bad, or what are you saying?
Yeah.
So, this is it. Like we all know, life is filled with ups and downs. You see, this particular topic is a spiritual topic. There is no way we can talk about waiting room and not talk about God and not talk about food, because God designed our journey. Okay, He designed our life. He has known us before we were formed in our mother's womb. Our unique journey are different. So if you tell someone to prepare for waiting in case, and in fact, the waiting might not even be marital for that person. It could be in another area.
Yeah.
It could be dream job. It could be relocation. It could be healing. It could be fruit of the womb. It could be breakthrough. Change of levels.
Yeah.
It could be everything. So when someone tells you, you have to prepare for waiting, because at the time there might be, there might not be. Some people, I want to believe some people are lucky enough not to wait at any time in their life. I don't know if there are people like that, but I think there could be people like that who never waited for anything, everything at the tip of their finger. So, but if you tell someone that, okay, in life, you might experience waiting, so you might want to prepare for waiting. It might not even be marital, like I said. So the person should not go and be thinking, hey, maybe it's marital. No, you might even get married quickly. It might be another thing. But the good news is that God will come through for you. But before that time happens, you need to equip yourself, okay? You need to be well prepared. You need to gather yourself together mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because you are going to need all of these things to navigate this journey. Okay, so if if you tell someone that like coming, it may not be where you're, it may be in another area. So life is, only God can unravel the faces and the journey of
All
the
right.
man. Yes. So now to the next question. You have the
Yeah.
next question.
Yes. How to
Please repeat that
undo the
question.
yes. How to undo the anxieties, the
So
pressure
the
that
number
comes with
one,
waiting.
anxiety is normal. It will happen. There is no way you want to do it. If you like, be a hard girl, be a hard boy, whatever, anxiety will set in. It might not set in at the earlier stage, but by
Yeah.
the time you are saying this thing is becoming something else, so by that time you begin to second guess, you begin to doubt, you begin to be afraid, get afraid, you begin to question yourself.
Mm.
And if you are not someone that prays very well, you now begin to question your prayers. What is happening? Is this prayer not getting to
Mm.
God? And all of that. So, but there are a couple of things you can do at that time.
Mm.
See, you can do everything while in your waiting period, but number one thing you should not do is to disconnect from God
Right.
if you are waiting. Number one thing you should not do is to disconnect from your maker.
Mm.
Once you disconnect, you have missed the road. Because the idea of, you know, connecting with God is that He will touch light to your path so that you can see the road. Because the
Mm.
waiting period is when you are lost, you are confused, you are afraid. And the worst thing that will not happen to you is if you disconnect. By the time you disconnect, everything will happen. Everything is even going to get worse.
Mm.
So the first thing is to connect with your maker. And I think waiting period is actually a discovery time. It's a discovery time. You are going to know yourself deeper. Do you know you are going to know yourself? Like know who you are. There are three sides to people: who you really are, who you think you are, and who people think you are.
Right.
When you are waiting, you would self-discover things. You would know who you are. Do you know that your reaction when things are happening for you in a good way is different from your reaction when things are slow, when things are not moving? You will get to know yourself in the worst situation ever. You get to know your real you. You see that time that is healing, that time that is quiet, that time that is sad, that is when you will know who you are, like your real self. Nothing excites you that time. Hmm? You will now know who you are. Whether you're someone when you're sad, you wish bad for other people. There are
Mm.
people like that. When they are sad, they are not happy. They just wish everybody should just be in this kind of situation. Whether when you are sad, you still believe that things will happen, things will change, there's going to be a shift. So waiting period is a discovery
Okay.
period, the time that you get to know who you are, like you yourself, the two of you, or whatever, you have a meeting together with your own self, and you'll be able to know, wow, this is who I am. So I want to go back to I know that I have digressed a little bit.
It's fine.
The next question that you asked is that
Okay.
please remind
No,
me.
that how to one undo the anxiety, especially the prayer. Yeah.
Number one is to connect with your maker,
Yeah.
connect with God, because He is the one, He's the architect of your life. Okay, when you buy a product and you want to set it up, or you have set it up and you are having an issue, what do? You go back to the manual, go and
Mm.
check the manual of the product. What did I not do right? This thing is not working now. You go and read it. Okay, so when things are at a standstill, when you're experiencing some standstill, reconnect with your maker. That's the number one thing you should do. No matter the religion you're
Practice.
practicing, reconnect with your maker,
Yeah.
because he is the architect of your life. And the number two, I would say, like I said earlier when we started this live video, that things that I'll be saying here are going to be based on my perception and my experience. So it may not align with maybe the theory or the statistics anymore. The number two will be that you have a positive mindset. Positive mindset. Positive for me happen for you. You will say it the way you will confess it with your mouth. You will not come and tell you that it is over for you. You are wasting your time. Never bad thoughts. Okay? Do not thought. I've said the first one is to do you know that when people are not, when things that you have a relationship with God, really? Did you hear that?
I didn't get your last point. I think the network is breaking.
When people are going through a tough time, they tend to be closer with God.
Yes.
And when they are doing fine, their prayers has been answered, they tend to relax.
True.
So that time that you are waiting, reconnect with God, have a positive mindset, tell yourself, say it out, confess it. It's going to happen for me. Things is going to change in my favor. Things are going to work for me. And then do not entertain fear. Do not entertain bad thoughts, because they are going to come. They are going to come big time. Bad thoughts, negative thoughts. Do not entertain negative thoughts. Do not entertain fear. At the time, you might even be afraid that what is this? Then you'll be thinking of the worst scenario that would happen. So do not entertain negative thoughts. Have a positive mindset. Reconnect with your maker, and find things that make you happy. Do them. Whatever that you find, maybe you're someone who likes to maybe teach pro bono. Some people enjoy it. You just like to maybe teach whatever you want to teach. Maybe you want to teach children. Maybe you want to teach whatever you find interesting. You like to go on vacation. You like to go on holiday. Just do it. Do it. Things that you derive joy in, do them. If you want to shift your mind from, sometimes when you're idle, an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Yes.
So engage yourself, engage your mind with something. Make sure that you engage your mind. You try to, maybe you want to go for a professional certification, whatever you can do, just to have yourself, engage yourself, engage your mind while you're waiting, build yourself. So it's not going to be like the time that you're just seated and like
just waiting. Yeah. Okay.
When people see that you are filled with positive aura, positive energy, they would not bring that pressure to you. That pressure.
Exactly.
Once they see that you are, but when they see that even the person that wants to pity is, up and grateful, how do you now want to bring negative energy to them? Do you understand?
In fact, that actually leads me to it was actually part of that question, because what I find out is people that are closer to us, they tend to put us on period even than the outsider. And fine, okay, let's use someone that was waiting for maybe for marriage, for example, and you do not want to lose your friends. You understand? You still want to mingle, you still want to go out with them, but you notice that this set of people, the only thing they tend to discuss, some discuss out of concern. The people that discuss out of concern. The people that discuss out of concern, I don't think they come to your face every day, every little thing they just want. But there are some people that even if they reach out to you, the next thing they want to do, I'm not even talking about family now. We know family is another ball game entirely. But I'm even talking about the people in your corner, your friends. How do you handle this prayer? And at the same time, you feel like, no, I don't want to lose my friendship with this person. But at the same time, I find out that sometimes this does not excite me. The way she approaches me on things like this does not excite me. How do you undo this aspect?
Okay.
And how will you undo this aspect?
Number one, I would say is people that ask you how far, a lot of times it's genuine, to be honest. A whole lot of time it's genuine. They are looking out for you. They know that no now, this thing should have happened. What's happening? So a lot of times, most of the times, they are being genuine with it, whether family or friend, most of the time. And then sometimes it's and you know, when they come with that thing, it's frustrating. It's
Yes.
frustrating.
Yes.
For me, is that I let them know it's a one-time thing. Once you tell them, they would respect that. And you know, the best thing you can do for anybody waiting is to pray for them. You don't even need to tell them.
I love that.
Can you just join me in prayers?
I love
And
that.
then you know what happens? I will know that you have prayed. I have seen the hand of God. Some people somewhere are praying for me. So the best thing you can do right now for me is to join me in prayers. Pray for me. Okay, that's the best way. Asking from time to time is not, it's good. It's good. You're showing love. But I think when you ask one time, two times, and the person has given you this kind of answer that I just gave,
Then
you don't want to come back again. Okay? Anything or anyone that is, you know, dishing negative energy. So there are some people, the way they ask you, it brings negative energy.
yes. Yes.
So that kind of people, you know how to handle them. For your own mental health, you might need to reduce discussion with them, pending the time that you would navigate that, you know, that level. Whatever that would give you bad energy, you might want to disassociate yourself from it. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. So you might want to reduce communication with them. If you need to even, you know, shift for a while, it's okay. It's okay. So that pressure here and there is not going to be cloud, because when you are waiting too, you don't want to make bad decisions, you don't want to make wrong decisions, you want to be sure of what you are deciding on.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So hi everyone again. Thank you so much for joining. I'll wait for my guest again. Thank you for joining. And sincerely, I feel like this topic is something that we need to keep talking about. I don't think we talk about it enough, and so we have heard it. If you know you're someone that just keep asking your friend, okay, there's some things that you ask people and it is out of concern, and you know how you will know it's out of concern is the way that you approach them. You know, it's not by them maybe making a post and saying, oh, you will not go and marry. Oh, you are by your children. You're not going to have another baby. You know, that's another thing. But when you ask them out of concern, oh, I was just thinking about you, and I'm just, you know, I just thought to ask, how's everything now? How everything is fine. And if they tell you, please pray for me, just like my guest said, if you tell people, please just join me in prayer, and you ask them the first time, you ask them the second time, I mean, you should be wise enough to say, oh, I don't think I should keep asking this person. There's nothing, you know, bad in telling people that, oh, out of concern, or there's nothing bad in praying for them. I pray for my friends that are waiting for something, and I know that I have friends that pray for me too. You know, even there is no situation I see myself and I know, oh, I have some friends that are waiting for this, waiting for children, waiting for husband, waiting for a job, we're just waiting for breakthrough. You know, I know that we're all waiting for something. So the best thing we can do for people is to do what? Pray for them. You do not know what you will say sometimes that will lead to them feeling so bad about themselves. You will not know what you will say that, yes, my love, of course I do pray for you, please. You know, you don't know what you will say that comes across like, oh, you don't, you know, you feel like, no, this thing is not something that you should say, you know. And some of us, we get too emotional, we get too emotional, like we get too emotional with people, you just out of nowhere, you just start saying a lot of things. So I believe that we have heard. Please pray for your friends that are waiting. Pray for them in everything. Thank you, thank you for coming back. So there's thing, I know that you have touched it, right? We are all human. You see people that things are working for them. You see people that everything is just going straight. And you begin like, even though people say don't compare your journey, but sometimes you be like, is this not? I know it happens to a lot of us. But we started together. How can we avoid comparing our journey? I know that it is easy to say, I know I say to people always, don't compare your journey, don't do this, don't do
Yes,
that.
don't do
But in
it. Don't
practical,
do it.
in practical, I know
So,
that it is not easy. Yeah.
so like you have said, and I've seen it in one of your posts, comparison is a thief of
Yeah.
joy. Never compare your journey with another person. And I'm still going to go back to that I said earlier, that God is the architect of our life.
Yeah.
Our journeys are different. We have dynamic journey. Like, God has designed each person's journey differently. Okay?
Yeah.
But how I know that the design of God for my life, according to the word of God, okay, is that is a good one. Okay? The Bible said that God said that the plans I have for you, they are plans of good and not of evil, to bring you an expected end. You understand? So these are the kind of words you want to leverage on. These are the kind of scripture you want to hold on to, that according to your word. Okay? Don't compare your journey. I know that it's difficult now that there's social media.
Exactly.
Everybody's life is perfect on social media. Everybody's life is perfect. Nobody posts their failures. Nobody posts their delays. Even me, this is the first time I am coming out to talk about this. Do you understand? So
Yes, I do.
do not compare your journey. Do not compare, because once you start doing that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. You will have your eyes on the things that are missing in your life. You would never appreciate the things you have. Okay? Meanwhile, you are only waiting in that particular area. There are other areas that you're actually making progress. There are
Right.
other areas that God is
Right.
actually coming to, even though you didn't ask for. But this particular one that is low, you hold on to it and you begin to look at your problem. You now start enlarging it. You now start focusing on it. Okay? And then by the time you will see that even is like this, it's so big, because you have sat down to analyze it, to enlarge it, to dissect it. Then you are going to say to yourself, this is a big problem. So never compare your journey. Never compare your journey with anybody. Hold on to the word of God, that God has good plans for you and it's going to come to pass. And then when that time comes, it's going to be marvelous. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, and like I said, have a good mindset, a positive mindset. This is a time to prepare yourself. You can even begin that time. You can even begin. In fact, it's not you can. You should begin to pray how you want it to happen, and when it happens, how you want it to go. You begin to control it. I'm not a religious person, but I am spiritual.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe that the way you want your things to happen, you can declare and decree it. Even though you are not seeing it happen, it doesn't even look like it's going to happen, but you know that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So some people, when they are going through tough time, by themselves, they say with their mouth horrible things. They say things like, maybe this thing is not for them. They say it's not everybody that will do this thing. Maybe they are part of this. So when you are waiting, do not compare your journey with anybody. Hold firm to the word of God. Have a positive mindset, and you keep going. For me, at the time, I was off social media for a while, and it's okay for me. And it's not as if I wasn't depressed though. In fact, someone said one time, the person called me, my friend, how are you now? You've been quiet. I said, I'm fine, darling. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine because I noticed that at the time, when you post, you remind some people don't engage with you normally. They don't chat with you, okay?
Until they
But
see
when
you.
you post, they remember like,
Yeah.
oh, this person, and then the next thing they are going to talk about is probably how far now. It's okay. They are doing it out of love, and it's totally fine. But sometimes it has a negative impact on the person you are telling it to. They are already
Exactly.
overwhelmed. They are already overwhelmed. Trust me, they are already overwhelmed. So the only thing you want to do for them is just to trust God with them, pray for them, say prayers. I have friends that I pray for. They don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know. We may not chat in 1 month, but darling, I am praying for you. Some of them knows. Sometimes when you engage people, when you talk with them, they know that you are genuine. They know that this person that is talking to me is true, like is real. Some people don't know. And I mentioned their name to God in prayers. That, Father, I lift up to you. That is the purest form of love you can have for anybody in this life. When you lift up people in prayer. In fact, if you have people like that, you should hold on to them very well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say. That do not compare your journey. When you go to social media, look. You
And
can like, you can comment,
leave.
but don't let that make you feel like see this person. Their life is going so smoothly. It's going so well. My darling, you don't know what's up behind closed doors. They are only showing you what they want you to see. So, and like I always say, I've always said this thing, and my mom will look at me and say, you this girl, sometimes you talk like old woman. And I have not even grown up to this level that I used to say that thing. The thing is that I don't want to be like anybody.
Right.
Some people will see someone say and say, God, when they tap. I don't tap. And I don't want to be like anybody because I don't know how their end is going to be. I see them now. I really don't know how their journey. I don't know even their past struggles. Do you know some people that you are praying to be like? They have struggled so much that if you know the kind of struggle they have struggled, you would not want to be
You
like
will not
them.
want to be like them.
So I say that I want to be like who God has designed me to be. God has a perfect plan for my life. God has designed my life in the best way ever. So let's stick with that. Okay. So I see people online, they say they tap. And then when things happen, they say they untap. Have you not seen that one before?
Really? Wow.
Yes. Maybe these people got married and it was sweet. The proposal was top
And then
notch.
something
Everything
happens.
out. We traveled to one country to go and do the proposal. The 24 karat, whatever diamond ring, and they say they tap. And then maybe later something happened in the marriage. They say back to the post of when
And on
Insta
top.
blog posting. They will say they on tap. Why are you tapping into something you don't tap?
Oh my God. May we not recap. Tap what you don't
Exactly.
know.
That's what you don't
Exactly.
know.
Tap what you
Yes,
don't know.
Adora. Exactly. So do
Hmm.
not tap what you don't know. Okay?
Tap what you don't know.
Speak
Tap
with God.
yourself to
Ask
God.
God what you
Yeah.
want, where you want your journey to be. Tell it to God. Do not. Some people will even.
Fantastic.
It is well. It is well. So yeah.
Thank you so much for you. You said something very wonderful. Like sometimes we have beautiful things that are actually going on in our life. Beautiful things, amazing things. You have a thriving career, something is happening, but there's a way devil will make you to magnify that thing that you're waiting for. It now looks like you simply be ungrateful for everything else that is happening. In fact, that's a very good point. Like you don't have to forget everything that is happening. And then you mentioned that the words of our mouths. In fact, this one it is very, very important. And that Bible verse that said, God, I know the thoughts that you have for me. Even if it means we waking up every day and reminding the God, on these things, I know the plans that you have for me. I know they are plans of good, they are not of evil. It's a very good confession. And lastly, what you said was don't compare. Like you do not have any reason to compare. It's good to pick up your phone and oh beautiful, beautiful, and just leave. That's it. Thank you, Regina. When God leave you once wanted after waiting for so long, and then you lost that particular thing again. So this is a question, and I don't want to miss it, but so let's just get into it. And so it said, when God leave you,
When
I don't
God
know.
give you what you wanted, so you have prayed
Okay,
and God gave you,
yeah,
and then you
yeah.
lost that thing.
How do
So you lost
you
that
handle
thing.
the pains and the frustration that
So
come with it?
first of all, I would say that if you lost that thing, it's definitely what it's not yours. It's not
Mm,
yours. It's not yours. It's not yours. If it is yours, you will
you
not lose it.
lose it.
By the grace of God, you hold on to it. It's not going anywhere.
Mm,
Whatever God has established, God is not a man that would lie.
wow.
So if that is not staying, there is a lesson for you to learn more. So it probably means that you have not gotten the final. Okay, your journey is still ahead. So you need to this time around intensify all the prayers, all the positive mindset, all of the things that you need to do. You need to intensify. That is what that means. So it's not a time for you to relent. In fact, it's
Mm,
a time for you to double all of your faith. Like I said earlier, this topic is actually a spiritual topic. Mhm.
yes,
It's not
yes.
something that we can discuss without the God factor. Okay?
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
we all found ourselves here on this earth. I don't know if anyone had a meeting before coming to this world that, okay, oh, so I want to go now on this day too. We all found ourselves here. Okay? And I know that God is the architect of every person's life. So if you had prayed for a thing and you got it and you lost it, it's a time to intensify prayers. And God
Thank you.
will direct your path. I really
Thank
believe in
you.
the powers of prayers. I believe in the powers of prayers. I believe that you can stand in the place of prayer to do a lot of things, a whole lot of things, a whole lot,
True,
a whole lot.
true, true. Thank you so much, Regina. I hope you have an answer to that. If you have something and then it didn't stay, we just believe that it was never yours. I think that is it. Personally had a situation where I think I've shared it some time ago. When I had a baby and then I lost the baby again. I think it came preterm, and that time I didn't even know. In fact, that period in my life, that was when I knew that I have strength, inner strength. Because I've seen people that even walk up to me and say, how did you undo? Like, the way you came out of it, even if people didn't ask you, you wouldn't even, let people know. I said, oh, I mean, I hold it all to God. And I just have to believe that, okay, this maybe it was never mine, maybe some things could have happened afterwards, that could have led to a lot of things. So I'm just grateful to God. And then afterwards, God did again. Okay, for
I want to chip in
yeah,
here that um, whatever you are doing when you are waiting,
yeah.
never be weak. Never be weak. It's okay to cry. It's okay
Mm,
to think about it, you know, but never be that person who would be weak.
mm.
I don't know how to explain. When I say weak, sometimes people are tired and they just
Or
they just
vulnerable,
allow allow whatever it is to trample upon them, like all of the fears, all of the anxiety.
Yeah.
They just lie down there. It's tough. It's tough. It's easier said now than done. But be that person that you put on your positive energy. Be strong, and that is why that is where you need you know God Almighty, because when you cannot be strong on your own, you can draw
Yes.
strength
Yeah.
from God Almighty,
Yeah.
because God is that person that will renew your strength. Okay, He give us strength to those that are weak, so you can draw strength. And that's why the number one thing that I mentioned, if you remember earlier, is to reconnect or make
God.
sure you connect or reconnect with God, because you are going to be needing a lot of things from Him at that time. Okay, so that's strength because it's going to come with weakness. It's going to come with you are tired, Dari, Dari.
Vulnerability, yes, yes.
And nothing you can do to help your strength to build up is read the Bible, engage yourself with scriptures that is going to uplift you.
Yeah.
Then practice gratefulness. Practice gratefulness. If you need to count your blessings, name them one by one. Number one, it's actually not just a song. That counts your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. It's not just a song; it's a wise. Number one, I got promoted at work. Number two, I got my visa approved. Number three, count them one by one and then read them again. You see that you will smile and say, thank you, God.
God for what I have.
You will see that it's not as bad as I thought.
Thank you so much.
And I want to say that waiting period is not a punishment, like some people think. It's not a denial, like some people think. It's not a delay, like some people think. It's actually a phase that is going to prepare you. I saw a story on Instagram this evening before I joined this live. The lady has been processing US visa for the past 22 years.
Wow.
And now she's in America. So she did like a short story. I don't know if anybody has seen that. I saw it this evening. And then she did like a short story. She documented everything. And she was going for interview, going for different things. So who would have, in fact, would she not at the time thought it's over? Giving up. You are doing 6 months. No, it's over. But she said she was never tired. She kept pushing. She kept on pushing. So waiting period is not like a punishment or whatever. Even in the Bible, there were people that waited. Our Lord Jesus even waited 30 years before starting his ministry. Joseph waited. You understand? So
it's never
like that.
A punishment.
David waited.
It's never a punishment. And this actually brings me to the very last question, which is the second part of our topic. We'll just quickly. So, how do you really find purpose? While you're waiting, how that self-discovery? How do you find purpose in that waiting? As we just let's just say that, yeah.
When you are at your lowest, okay, like you are at your lowest, I think that's the best time to know who you are.
Right.
That's the best time. It's not when everything is going smoothly. No, that's not who you are. When you are at your lowest, that's when you will know who you are. You will discover yourself. Okay? You will now say, wow, so I am this kind of person. Like, when I am at my lowest, I don't want to talk to people. I don't like to make friends. I don't like to be happy for other people. That's when you will see that, so this is who you are.
Exactly.
So that time that you are at your lowest, it's going to help you find yourself. You would now look at what is that thing that, even though you're at your lowest, what is that thing that excites you? Do you get?
Yeah.
You're at your lowest. What is that thing that excites you? That thing, look at it very well. What is it? Is it that when you're at your lowest, you still enjoy going to church on Sunday?
Yeah.
You still enjoy visiting the orphanage. You still enjoy supporting an NGO. You still enjoy helping the widows, even though you're at your lowest, and you are still happy doing that thing. That is one of the things you are called for. That's like a body, and whatever it is, this thing, I cannot take my eyes off it. Even though things are not going smoothly, I still enjoy helping the needy. I still enjoy helping the widows. I still like supporting women experiencing domestic violence. You just find out that. So now imagine when you are at your highest, would you not enjoy that thing? You would, even more. So you will be able to discover the things that you enjoy doing, that you lean towards, even though things are and all that. But this thing, I still find happiness in it.
Thank you.
I still find happiness in it.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a question here. I know that we have actually touched this, Regina, probably before you joined. The Bible says faith without work is dead. What else are you expected to do during your waiting period aside prayers and having positive mindset?
You can build yourself up. You
Yeah.
can take up a course, professional course. You can learn skills with your hand, what you can use your hand to do. You know, when you are productive with your hand, like see things you have done, it gives some kind of
Yeah.
fulfillment. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it releases some kind of hormones, like you are happy. Maybe
Happy.
you
Yes.
want to learn how to do beads or whatever. I made this.
And
So you can learn.
feel happy about that.
Yes, you can learn a skill with your hand. You can learn how to play a musical instrument. That
Right.
excites you.
So,
You can learn how to make.
yeah.
You can learn food recipes. You can develop yourself professionally. So it's a time that just engage your mind with something positive. Okay, engage your mind with something positive. So you said aside prayers, yeah, aside
Positive mindset.
yeah,
Yeah.
build yourself up. If you need to make new good friends, make new good
Exactly.
friends, make new good friends, friends that have positive mindset like you. You need to join a community of what do you call people that like a community that helps the needy.
That builds you up. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so you need to join them. You need to join a community of praying women. You know,
Just
join these women.
anything to keep you going. You know, that
Exactly.
gets your mind engaged. Yeah. That
Exactly.
actually keeps you away from from thinking
from
a lot. In fact, thank you. Thank you so much for joining
Let's
me.
have
I
one
we have
question. I feel
1 hour. Yeah. Do you have
I
any?
wrote
Oh, somebody said I wrote some. Wow, fantastic. Some
see,
people, some people wrote books. Some people became an author during their waiting period. Just like that. Thank you so much for sharing the premium nurse. Thank you. I wrote songs during my waiting period. There's definitely a purpose. It's never for nothing. Something will happen through that thing. And the first thing, I love the fact that you mentioned that we connect with God. Let's always know that God is the ultimate, and if thought for us every time is of good. Wow, it's been an interesting 1 hour. I don't even feel like it's 1 hour.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
never
doesn't.
knew I had it in me. Fantastic. That is it. It's because you decided to, engage your mind and just do something. This thing I'm waiting for. Let it stay
Like I
here.
said,
I
it's a
want to do something
self-discovery
else.
phase. She
Yeah,
wouldn't have thought she could read that book normally. Like I said, it's a self-discovery phase. And if she wasn't even waiting, she might not have time to do that. Like,
right.
I am busy, things to do. I need to be writing a book. But you see, that time, like you
Mm-hmm.
have a private, like I said, it's more like a private time with yourself,
Yeah,
So you can deliberate,
yeah,
you can have thoughts, you can speak to yourself, you can discuss, with your mind. So you can engage yourself, you can have deeper understanding of yourself.
yeah.
So that's
Thank you. I mean, there's so many things we can do during our period. And there's
yes.
only thing I want to say, before we go is waiting period is never a punishment. No, God is not punishing you for something you have done in the past. No. Waiting period is a time for you to rediscover yourself and learn about yourself in a way that you have never even learned before. Thank you so much, Koyeke. I really do appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's been a very wonderful section. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you again next month, definitely. This one will be up. You'll be able to watch it again because I know that there are so many points that we needed to listen to all over again. And I want to thank you for it once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you.
so
Okay,
much.
or do you have one last word for us? Just one last word.
So, in summary, I would just say that the waiting period is a time for you to grow through it.
Yeah.
It's a time for you to learn. Okay, you learn, you grow through it,
Yeah.
and then you become a better and final version of yourself.
So amazing. Go through it and become, the a refined version of yourself. Wow. Someone said, waiting period made me reevaluate. I need to read that. Maybe and understand so many things God has done and still doing for me. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. We should continue this, but it's 1 hour. I don't know. I don't want to keep us here more than this. Thank you so much, everyone. I really do appreciate you. I love you all. Thanks for joining. Foyeke, I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for joining. Bye bye,
See you,
everyone. See you
everybody.
next
Bye.
month. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rosie. Regina, I love you. Pandora. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you all. Bye.